Hi, I'm Stephanie Rivers, and I want justice. The police officers involved showed reckless disregard. Hello and welcome to the video version of my journal. I'm Stephanie Rivers. Come on into the conversation. Welcome to the conversation. I'm Stephanie Rivers and you're watching the video version of my journal. I'm multicasting on several platforms. You might be watching on Facebook Live or on Twitter, for now anyway, or on LinkedIn or YouTube. On whatever platform you're watching, we want to welcome you. You're able to communicate by fingers, or you can come on in and comment. I'm going to put the link in the chat so that if you want to participate in the conversation, this is the link that I have put into the chat. If you are new to the conversation, we want to thank you, welcome you, and thank you for stopping by. And if you are returning, we want to thank you for returning. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so that when I host new videos, you'll be the first to know. So you probably want to know, what are we talking about today? Well, here's what we're talking about. In this era of social media where a person can accumulate hundreds of friends they've never met actually, and amass thousands of followers that they can be paid to influence, it's no wonder that some of us are confused about the real meaning of the word friend. If you're old enough, you can remember the song Houdini, Friends. How many of us have them? Friends, those we can depend on. So when I think about friends, I automatically go back to that song. Some of us are quick to call someone a friend when we know little to nothing about them. Even if we go to school with that person or they live in the same neighborhood, we might go to church or to work with that person. We might even just see them at the club on the regular. Some of us consider people like that to be a friend, but that doesn't necessarily mean they are a friend. They're merely an associate or an acquaintance. And if we make the mistake of assigning the wrong term to the people in our lives, whether it be an acquaintance or an associate or a friend, it could have real life consequences. And I believe that is what happened to Shanqella Robinson. Well, who is Shanqella Robinson, you might ask? This is Shanqella Robinson. She died because she mistook people in her life as friends when they were really frenemies. They might have been pretending to be her friend, but in the end, when she needed somebody to be there for her and protect her, those people were not there. That's why I'm calling them frenemies. Shanqella Robinson lived in Charlotte, North Carolina, and she traveled from Charlotte to Cabo just last month with a group of people she considered to be her friends. So we're going to talk about it tonight. Maybe you have been in a position where you thought somebody was your friend and it ended. I hope you survived it, but maybe you had a situation where you realize these people are really not my friends. And sometimes it takes a situation for us to realize that someone is really not our friend. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And if you want to comment, I have put the information, the link in the chat. But Shanqella Robinson, 25 years old. Last month, she went to Cabo, Mexico, with a group of people she considered to be her friends, people she thought she could trust to protect her if she needed them. But the day after Shanqella Robinson arrived in Mexico on vacation with those frenemies, Shanqella's family was told that she had died. This group of frenemies told Shanqella's mother that she died from alcohol poisoning. But her mother, in various interviews with the media, has said that an autopsy showed that Shanqella's cause of death was a broken neck and spinal cord injury, not alcohol poisoning. Has nothing, those have nothing to do with the other. You can die from alcohol poisoning passively without any physical injury to your body. So the fact that she had physical injury to her body let her mom know that something else went on. And after some pressure from the family and media attention, now the FBI is investigating. At first, the FBI was trying to tell her family that they had to do their own investigation. And so, with some pressure from people around the country and her family, now the FBI is investigating. Now, why would these group of people who Shanqella Robinson left the United States with and went to Mexico with, who were supposed to be her friends, why that she supposedly was able to trust and protect? Why would they lie about what really happened? Could it be to obviously protect themselves from somebody telling a lie or not telling the whole truth? It remains to be seen, but it could be that they are protecting themselves when they should have been protecting her, and they wouldn't have to protect themselves right now. So I want to show you a picture of the group of people that Shanqella Robinson left the United States with. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go over, let's see, this group of friends. So let me get my, make sure I'm showing, you're seeing what I want you to see. All right, so here's the group of friends that Shanqella Robinson left the United States with. Now, let's talk about this young lady at the top. Due to some social media sleuths, not to, I didn't figure this out, but due to some social media sleuths who put it all together, they should be getting paid for this. But essentially, they have come to let us know the names of the group of people that Shanqella Robinson left the country with. So we're talking about this young lady at the top right in the mauve top, the mauve blouse. Let's get her name. Her name is Winter Donovan. Winter Donovan. That's one of the ladies who was a part of the trip, Winter Donovan. The second person, the second young lady with the long hair in the middle to the right of Shanqella is Dejanay Jackson. Dejanay Jackson. The third lady down from the top, her name is Elisa Michelle Hyatt. Now, these are all supposed to be friends of Shanqella Robinson. But when we get into it, we're going to find out more about what happened, or at least what evidence shows so far. All right. The person at the top left, on the left side of Shanqella, this person's name is Khalil Cook. Khalil Cook. And as we scroll down, this young man with the braids on the right His name is Malik St. Patrick Dyer. Malik St. Patrick Dyer. And the last person at the bottom right with his middle finger up, this person is Nazir Wiggin. Nazir Wiggin. This is the group of people that left the United States with Shanqella Robinson. And this is the group of people that she was in the company of when she lost her life, when something happened, something went down, and Shanqella Robinson left the country with these group of 5 people, 6 including herself, and she died. And they left Mexico and came back to the United States without her, telling her parents, telling her family that she died of alcohol poisoning, when evidence shows there was more to it than that. So here's what happened. Shanqella and this group arrived in Cabo on February 28th of October. I'm sorry, Friday the 28th, Friday the 28th of October. So she spoke with her mom. Her mother said she spoke to her daughter that night when Shanqella got in to Cabo, telling her that everything was great and they were about to go to dinner. Then by the next day, the 29th of October, her mother got a call from at least one of the friends, the Frenemies, to say Shanqella was sick and that they were going to call a doctor to see about getting her some help. Then later, those people called her mom to say Shanqella had died from alcohol poisoning. So what they failed to mention is that Shanqella had been in a physical altercation that morning with one of those so-called female friends identified as Dejanay Jackson. Remember, Dejanay Jackson is the one in the middle right here with the long hair. She was in an altercation with that person. And so I don't know if it was planned. I don't know if they just so happened to get into this physical altercation, but it just seemed too timely for them to get there on one day and the next day they're fighting. That's why you have to be aware. You have to have discernment. You have to know who it is that you are in the company of, because when you don't listen to your intuition, you can end up in a situation where you don't have the defense that you should. You can't defend yourself because you didn't listen to your intuition. So this is why it's important to also know that everybody who you might be an acquaintance with is not necessarily going to be somebody you can travel with, not necessarily somebody that you should have in your personal space, because if it is the wrong person that you allowing in your personal space, they could really take advantage of you, and you could end up unfortunately dead like Shanqella. So that's why we're talking about this. So if you haven't already, be sure to like, share, and subscribe so that when I post new videos, you'll be the first to know. And so when I mentioned before, and we're about to watch a video that all the phone calling that went on and all the information that was shared with Shanqella's family, they failed to mention that Shanqella had been in a physical altercation with one of the people that was in her group, her frenemies, and identified as Dejanay Jackson. And another male friend recorded it. So instead of stopping the fight, this person decided, and others were in the room, decided to record the fight. Now, I will say that when I first saw the video of them fighting, I didn't recognize that Shanqella was naked. But after I watched it a couple of times, she clearly did not have clothes on. But so I'm telling you that so that you can be aware that that's what you're about to see. That she was in an altercation with one of the people, Dejanay Jackson, and it seemed like it was a setup. It seemed like they just jumped on her, like it just happened in the morning. She was asleep. They kind of like walked in on her for some strange reason. So be prepared. We're about to, I'm about to share the video of them fighting. It's only about a minute, so here we go with this video.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Quilla, can you at least fight back?
No. Why she not fighting?
At least something. At least fight back, something.
Get up, bro. Get up. I'm tired of shit. Okay. Okay.
So we're gonna play it one more time.
Quilla, can you at least fight back?
No. Why she not fighting?
At least something. At least fight back, something.
Get up, bro. Get up. I'm tired of shit.
So I am not sure why they were fighting, but it seems like if you camera ready and to watch someone fight, then you knew that the fight was about to happen. That's how I feel about it. And if you are so preoccupied with recording and not actually stopping the fight, and you're supposed to be this person's friend, that tells me that that was a setup and that you were ready to watch this young woman get beat up. And especially if she was naked, that tells me that she didn't know. Because if I know I'm about to have a fight, I'm gonna have some clothes on. Okay. So she didn't have any clothes on. It seemed like they jumped her. And then it was like everybody was like, well, are you at least gonna fight? Why would you want your friends to fight? Okay. That's just not something. And why are you all in the room? There was the person fighting her, the person holding the camera, another person at least. There were at least 3 people in the room besides Shanqella. Okay, so something was up with that. And so within a day of arriving in Cabo, Shanqella Robinson was dead. Was it a setup? In an interview with her father from Charlotte, he said he thinks it was a setup. And if so, who was in on it? And if they weren't in on it, but they didn't stop the fight and they allowed her to get beat, because we just saw a few seconds of it, it seemed like it might have gone on beyond that. And, you know, with the autopsy showing that she had so much physical damage to her body that she had spinal cord injury. In Mexico, even the floor is so hard. The floor is like made of marble, like what we in the United States use as our countertops, the very hard marble. That's what they use for everything. The floor is, and you could see it. It's not wood, not tile. So if you fall wrong, if you push wrong, if somebody's fighting you, and you get hit on the head or something, it's going to hurt. It's going to there's going to be damage. I will say that. I know that about Mexico. That's just, you know, the way they build their vacation, the hotels are real like tile, you know, real attractive but real sturdy material that is not forgiving on anything. Whether you drop something, whether you fall yourself, you're going to be hurt. So I could see how she would have, if someone was beating on her, according to the autopsy, that she would have had damage to her body. So reports said that these people who were supposed to be her friends left her in the room like a used towel for the maid to find while they packed up and came back to the United States. Now, that in itself says that somebody is hiding something. Somebody was running from something. There's no way that if I go somewhere with somebody and they're my friend, that I'm going to, one, let them fight and I don't get in the fight. If I don't break up the fight, then Steffanie gonna have to fight. Okay, that's what I would do with my friend. I wouldn't let my friend be beat up on and I don't jump in to stop it or jump in to help fight. That's just how I am. And the people who know me, that's how they know that Steffanie is going to roll. Okay. And then if my friend is found dead in a hotel room, there's no way I'm going to just leave and go home. But that's what they did. So they're now back in the United States. Everybody's claiming that we don't know. Everybody's speculating, and you know what? Of course there's going to be speculation because of all that I just said. And if you would leave your friend, or would you expect for your friends to leave you? Would you leave your friend? That's the question. How do you expect for people to react and act and behave in that situation? Now, that's why when I travel, I travel quite extensively. I go on an international trip at least once a year for vacation, normally around my birthday. This last My birthday is in September, and this last September I went to Morocco. Now I could have gone with some people, but I chose to go by myself. And some people might say, you know what, that's selfish. You go by yourself. You can't even get along with people. And it's not that I can't get along with people. It's just that if I'm on vacation, I know I like to do certain things. And some of those things, like people do certain things that they consider to be fun and during vacation. Some people like to drink, some people like to party, turn up, some people like to get loud, some people like to just do certain things. I don't like to do that. I don't drink. And if I take a drink, I'm not going to drink to inebriation. That's just not how I present myself. And so I don't want to be around people who do that. And I like to swim. I like to be in the ocean. It what's the word? I find it strange that people will go all the way to the ocean and don't get in it. I find it strange that people go all the way to the beach and they stay at the swimming pool. I'm not that type of person. If I'm going all the way to an ocean, Steffanie is getting in the ocean because I like to swim. I like to scuba dive. I like to do activities, physical activities. Some people, they don't do that. They like to just sit around on the beach, at the swimming pool, and that's hell. I can do that up the street. I don't need to go 5,000 miles, 1,200 miles to go to a swimming pool. That's just not me. So when I go on vacation, I just know there are certain things that I want to do. And if you are not that type of person, why would we be on vacation together? So since I am one of those rare breeds of people, I just like to go on vacation by myself because it allows me to become centered again, to realize I like myself. Some people don't like themselves enough to be alone with themselves. I love myself enough to be alone with myself. And so I'm okay with being on vacation by myself. So you have to have discernment. Going back to Shanqella and people who get it mixed up. Is this a friend? Is this an acquaintance? Is this an associate? Is this somebody I can trust to be there and have my back in a situation? You have to know these people. And just because you see these people every day, or you go to church with them, or y'all go to the same university, or y'all are co-workers, that doesn't mean that we need to go out of town together, because it could end up like this. And I certainly don't want to end up like that. And I'm sure had Shanqella listened to her discernment and looked at the red flags, she would have realized that these people were not her friends, and she hopefully would have figured it out enough to not go with them on vacation, and she might have been here today. Now, I did ask, I reached out to her parents, or her mom at least, and to these people who were supposed to be, let's take one last look at them, these people who were supposed to be her friends, and to ask them to come on and talk about it And they I didn't hear back from them. Not that I thought I would, but at least I wanted to reach out to them. These are the frenemies that Shanqella thought she could trust. So before you put your life on the line dealing with folk, it might even be the person you sleeping with. Sometimes you just can't trust that person. Before you put your life on the line dealing with folk, you need to ask yourself, is this somebody that I can trust? And you might want to do a couple of tests, round through here. Ask them, will you come and get me? Hey, I need you to come and get me. Will you come and get me? Can I'm going to the airport. Can you come get me from the airport? If they, huffing and puffing, they can't even come get you from the airport, or if they can't come get you from a doctor's appointment or something like that. My car broke down. If my car breaks down, will you be able to come and get me? If you can't trust them to come up the street to get you, you damn sure can't trust them to go out of town. That's just bottom line on it. So that's my message for today. Know who your friends are, know who your associates and acquaintances are, and those people might be frenemies, and you just need to leave them over there. Do the Heisman Trophy on them, or over there. So to find out more about the things that I care about, you can go to the written version of my journal. That's at eurweb.com. Thanks.